Hey, what's up, guys? So we're back. I'm here with Sean Logan, and we got a special guest here tonight with us, Mike Tharp. Now, Mike is a former high school history teacher turned silver and gold bug, who's now also into crypto. So we're going to be having a chat with him, finding out, what he thinks about the market and what he thinks, the place where gold and silver will be in the market compared to crypto like Bitcoin. And yeah, and then we're just going to be passing stuff around, just having an interesting discussion. I'd personally like to hear from someone who is into silver and gold. Because all the time we just speak to people that are yeah, crypto, crypto, crypto. But yeah, we're going to be getting the perspective of from someone that takes a look at precious metals, which I think is super, super cool. So, right, Mike, welcome. How you doing?
Hey, thanks for having me, Paul. Always love when I can get together with Sean. He kind of started mentoring me online back in 2017, and super thankful for everything he's helped me with. Because of him, I was able to retire from teaching in 2020, and now I just get to live a life of freedom, as Sean talks about, the laptop lifestyle, getting out of the system, going on lots of vacations, traveling around just like Sean. So, man, it's been a blast and happy to be here with you guys.
It's awesome
Awesome.
to have you. Right, I love that the laptop lifestyle. So a lot of people don't think that it is possible. I truly believe it because I lived it. Hopped around and just did my thing, man. So yeah, so tonight we're going to be talking a little bit about silver and gold with Mike and Sean. Do you have anything that you want to kick off to ask Mike about?
Absolutely. Yeah, but before I hit you with your first question, just want to say Mike has put an enormous amount of effort into teaching people about gold, silver, and cryptocurrency. So make sure you follow all his links in the description of this video. He's got tutorials for Web3, DeFi, how to use exchanges, everything you need to know to get started with gold, silver, and cryptocurrency. And ever since I met Mike, your business just like skyrocketed online. Um, and you've always been coming on just live streams to communicate with everyone, and you've really been able to just articulate in an understandable way, like what's going on in the markets and how people can get into these asset classes. So, Mike, what is your perspective on everything happening in the economy right now, and how do you see gold, silver, and cryptocurrency playing a role?
Wow, how long do you guys got? I could go for about 3 hours on that, but I'll try to narrow it down here. So, you know, I came into gold and silver and cryptocurrency through a libertarian mindset, meaning I didn't like either party. I knew the government was corrupt and they weren't going to fix any problems. I knew that central banks are corrupt and all they really know how to do is print money, or actually, it's not even money, it's currency or debt. So I was just frustrated with the whole system. And I was like, what's the only way we can really get our power back to take back from these centralized authorities who are basically have made us slaves? So I first started, Ron Paul was kind of one of my huge mentors. Ron Paul ran for president in America in 2008 and 2012, was a huge libertarian. And he was the first one to really introduce me to this concept of real money, of getting gold and silver in your own possession. And I like kind of knew about the history of it because I was a history teacher, but then I really started to study it and read the history of money in America, which is an amazing book by von Mises, I believe. And it really just blew my mind about how little we know what the US dollar is, where it comes from. So I would try to teach people about inflation, and for the most part, they didn't really understand it or they didn't see its effects, right? Every single day. Fast forward now, I think about 50% or more of money or dollars that have been created have been originated since 2020. People are seeing real-time inflation. Like literally, they'll go to the supermarket the next month and the same thing they bought has gone up, 20, 30%. So people are really seeing the effects of inflation right now. And I know there's this big debate in crypto of like crypto only gold and silver. And I tell people all the time, you need to have both. Gold and silver have that longevity and that history of being real money and have huge liquidity all around the world. I went to the UAE a couple months ago, and I could not believe how much gold and silver was there. I mean, they were literally just streets filled with gold and silver. So then we have the new cryptocurrency, which is the people's money, which allows huge gains, but there's also a lot of risk, right? We don't know, will Ethereum be around in a decade? I don't know. I think so, but will something like Sui be around in a decade? Who knows? I think so, but it's very uncertain. So you need to have, at least this is what I do. I have my base in gold and silver. I have more of my investment or speculative, you could say more maybe risk money in cryptocurrency. And I think you really need to have both right now because the massive amounts of money printing, inflation, and just the corruption has just gone rampant to where I can't even talk about it. We'll probably get kicked off YouTube for saying it. But I think people need to learn it and they need to really get educated in the space. Don't just go out and buy a bunch of meme coins. Okay. Find a system or find a mentor or at least one channel that will actually teach you how to get educated in this space.
Right. Okay. So I've heard the following being said about gold and silver versus crypto. If you want to hold on to your money, you need to put it into precious metals. Okay, it's not going to devalue like the dollar. If you want to be speculative, then you can take a punt on something like Bitcoin. Do you agree with something like that?
I think buying Bitcoin is a necessity. I
Okay.
think if people understood what is actually going on in the banking sector and with the corruption of governments, uh, I buy Bitcoin every day. I recommend that everyone else does the same, even if it's just a couple dollars. But I think it really is perfect money. If you guys have ever listened to Michael Saylor, I'm sure you have. If you haven't, get him on YouTube and he will convince you. His speech at the Munich conference for Bitcoin made me buy even more. It really is the only censorship money right now. If governments around the world wanted to take out Ethereum, they could. So for me, maybe Caspa, but Bitcoin really is to me the only real decentralized solution we have in this age of tyrants, I guess I'll say.
Right.
Appropriate.
I was actually pretty fortunate to watch Michael Saylor speak live. They actually had an event here. It was Bitcoin Atlantis here in Madeira back in March. Michael Saylor was a keynote speaker, but I mean all your big names were here. And it's the talk that he gave was the first time that he had done it. So if you really want a completely different perspective on things that Michael Saylor says, and I watched a lot of his videos, the one he did here in March was mind-blowing. So do yourselves a favor, Bitcoin Atlantis, Michael Saylor, search for that on YouTube. And actually, when you watch that video, there's a shot where they pan through the crowd, and I'm actually sitting in that shot. I was quite proud of myself there. 2 seconds of mini fame. But yeah, it was an absolute phenomenal talk that he gave. So anyone that really wants, like I said, a completely other view from Michael Saylor needs to go and Google that and find it. Bitcoin Atlantis, March 2024, Michael Saylor's keynote speech it was absolutely phenomenal. I can't stop talking about how influential I believe that he really is. Not because he's got good things to say, but because he was initially anti-Bitcoin.
Yeah, I've heard that story. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like he completely flipped. He completely flipped the switch, like one way to another. And a lot of people I know were kind of anti crypto, and then slowly, and to me, those are the best kind of crypto advocates, because it means that that person has taken their time to actually learn and study what they're getting involved with, which I believe is a mistake a lot of people make. They don't do that. They either just hear, hey, this meme coin is great, put money in it, and it's
Yeah.
picture of a dog with a hat or some stupid thing, right?
Right.
Like, I believe that one should actually look at the utility of certain things and then make decisions based on what can this do that something like Bitcoin and Ethereum cannot do. And that should give people a better a better understanding of what they should be thinking about. What do you think when looking at a new crypto? Is there a process that you go through? How do you sort out the shit coins from the altcoins?
Yeah, I mean, I think you really have to look at the team and their long-term vision, um, and really the use case and utility. Why is somebody going to use this? How is it going to get adoption? Does it make, does it solve a problem that we have with crypto right now? Um, I think a lot of these tokens are going to eventually go away. Um, you know, they might still exist. Sean knows, all these tokens from 2017, they might still be around. You can go and look them up on CoinMarketCap, but there's nobody really using the chain. It's essentially a ghost chain that just gets pumped by traders on Binance or something. Um, I mean, I don't have like a specific method that I go through. A lot of it's just, listening to different experts and getting their opinions, doing my own research. So for example, obviously AI has been a huge narrative, and that's kind of why I've started accumulating a bigger position in Arweave. That's one of my, I'd say, top 10 cryptos, because they're kind of mixing in that AI with a layer one as well. So sometimes you just gotta take some chances on what is the hot thing right now. And I think we all know AI is going to be huge going forward. Now, I don't know which tokens are going to win, obviously, but I place my bets on quite a few that I think are going to have success in the future.
Right. So yeah, I've got my eye on a couple as well. So there is one thing that I do add in when looking at something that I do want to put money into. And it is the number of programmers that are actually working on that project.
Hmm.
So, and so I'm betting that there's people out there that are going, well, I never thought about doing that. Well, no, but it does make sense. Do you want to be investing into something that people are not actively trying to improve, or do you want to be looking rather at something where there are programmers continuously doing submits and commits just to improve what they already have? Or do you believe that your product is 100% solid? No, like there's no crypto project that is 100% solid. Bitcoin's been around since 2009 and they still doing updates to core. So, if Bitcoin goes that way, surely your favorite new meme coin, shit coin, altcoin, whatever the case is, thing that you're telling people, oh, it's going to be the next Bitcoin, bro. Shouldn't it follow the
That's
same sort of
that's
idea?
when you know to run away from a token. When their first thing is, if you would have bought Bitcoin at $1, you'd be a billionaire now. And they try to compare every new token and act like it's going to do what Bitcoin did. That's when you
Yeah, no.
just run the other way.
Yeah, like I don't believe there will be another Bitcoin. I really don't. And I mean, on our last podcast, I was telling Gary that I really believe that Bitcoin, with its side chains, can do anything and everything that other chains can do. Like I've actually turned into a complete Bitcoin bull.
Oh, okay.
I'm Yeah, I'm totally in the process of offloading all my altcoins just for more Bitcoin. And I hold a lot of Solana. I bought a lot of Solana at sub $10. So
Nice.
at some point, like I'm just offloading all of that for more Bitcoin, because my long-term vision is people are continuously working on it. Okay. It just keeps getting better. More and more side chains can now do things like staking, NFTs. You have speed now with the Lightning Network. Like, what can't it do? But that's just my personal opinion. There might be other chains that come along that are like really out there that do things that you've never seen done before. For example, Polkadot with parrot chains. I had high hopes for that. The downside was that uh, not many people are using it. It's it's kind of like a project that had so many great ideas because, hey, listen, you can get like a whole bunch of blockchains to talk to each other, but nobody's really using it. Have you come across anything that you had like really high hopes for that's just dead in the water?
So I still have quite a I mean, I still hold quite a bit of Polkadot. And going back to your point on how many developers are there, the last I checked, Polkadot's in the top 3 with developers. So I tend to try to follow the nerds. It might not get you rich quick, but I think long term, like you said, if wherever the developers are is where the users are eventually going to be. You might have to wait, which is kind of what I'm doing now with Polkadot, but I still have complete trust and faith in Gavin Wood. I think Polkadot, when they come out with their new version, because they got rid of the parachains, I think we'll still get a lot of adoption. But again, they definitely need to work on their delivery, their marketing, their user experience,
Wait, can
because
we
it's
can we
not.
just go back a second? Did you say they're getting rid of parachains?
Yes.
Oh wow, okay, that's news to me.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that like you said, it wasn't very successful and people had to like dump in a bunch of money to do the parachains and then you had to wait to get it out and just the model wasn't good and then they launched it right at the end of the bull run, which didn't help them either. But yeah, I think it's called Polkadot 2.0 is what they're labeling it as.
okay, so I'm actually still pretty involved with the with Polkadot because I run a dot validator and also run a Kusama validator, and but I haven't been keeping my ear to the ground for news. So actually, this is pretty interesting. Um, just goes to show that you learn new things every single day. So the other project that I thought, was really going to do well, but something told me back off. Like take your foot off the gas. Internet computer. What do you know about it?
I have 10 of them. That's all I know. I never bought into that hype. Um, I mean, it was all over YouTube a couple months ago, kind of in the
It was
beginning
probably
of this last
about a year ago,
cycle.
maybe more. Where just
Yeah.
everybody was just ICP, ICP.
Yeah, I never bought into it. I don't remember why, if it was research I did or somebody's take. But I just didn't it just sounded like they were promising way too much and it was just really hype. I would say one that I'm concerned about right now is H bar. I'm sorry, not H bar. DAG. You remember
Not,
them?
I don't know.
Constellation. So Constellation DAG, I was huge on. They had a huge pump because they got supposedly the United States Air Force is using them. So this coin has gone up to 50 cents back in the last bull run, and it's at 2 cents right now.
And it was
So
where?
it was over 50 cents in 2021.
And it's down to?
It's down to 2 cents.
Okay, so it needs to 25x in order for it to get back to it where it originally was. So
So it's all-time high, yeah.
despite not buying into the hype of ICP, then when things were pretty flat and we pretty much saw the bottom of this particular market cycle, I was looking through a bunch of things and I was looking for coins that had a lot of development going on. And ICP was one of those. So I took a small punt. I actually ended up buying the bottom because like even now with the way that the market has been fluctuating, I'm still up. So I'd like to, sort of just sit back and see exactly what's going to be happening. But there's been a lot of very disappointing coins that have been around since 2017 and probably even before that you get these like, hey, there has to be a pump. Like when's the pump coming? I'll give you one. V chain.
Yeah. I still,
What's going on?
yeah, I remember them from way back in the day, and um, I believe a pump's coming. I don't have very much of it, but I definitely don't, I wouldn't try to talk people out of it. That's for sure.
Hey, Paul.
So
Yeah, their all-time high has been 25 cents.
so yeah, I mean they sponsor the UFC and like you would like think something's got to give. People are saying it's the ethereum of Asia and it can do so much, and I'm
Hmm.
still like, okay, what's happening? Sean, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I actually have a question for both you guys. And this is in
Sure.
reference to these coins like VeChain, which actually that has like a real legit utility that's solving problems in the economy. And a lot of the pumps, that we've seen in crypto, most of them, it's very speculative. And some of these blockchain projects, VeChain, and there's a bunch of others we could list. They're solving problems that appear to be taking years and years and years to really accomplish and to really like integrate these technologies in our whole ecosystems, like the global economy. I mean, it's not like a small quick fix. This is something that could potentially take decades. And you think, I mean, now what's your opinion on that? Do you think that's why we might have not seen, these big pumps, is just because it's taking a lot longer for their actual utility to get adopted? I mean, what do you think about that?
I think it
So
definitely comes down. Sorry, go ahead.
no, you can.
I would just say I think it definitely comes down to adoption and users. I think we're still missing that moment where there's just mass awareness of how to use cryptocurrency. So I think we're still like waiting for that first slick app. Going back to our last conversation, I would like Theta Network, I'm big on. They have great developers. They have huge backing, Samsung, Google, Sony. Uh, but it's like, why isn't there users on there yet? They even have like Theta streaming. Why is that not feeding into the price? So I think it just comes down to, you know, back when the internet had to log in with a modem. I think we're still in that area where it's not that easy onboarding experience. I think like the new Coinbase wallet might be that catalyst to really get the your average ordinary people into crypto. But let's be honest, guys, right now it's basically us crypto nerds. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, like the normies get in and buy a dog and a cat, but that's it. And then they lose and they're like, oh, crypto's a scam, and then they give up on it. Um, but I think it is good. I think you're right, Sean. I think it's just going to take a long, long time. Um, because it's the barrier to entry is very high in crypto. Like there's this one guy in my cities, like in his mid 50s. We have been trying to get him into crypto for like 3 months now, and none of the banks will let him do it. They're like, no, we don't deal with crypto. You can't even send your money to Coinbase. So it's just the regulations. Again, we don't even have regulations in America. The SEC suing everyone left and right. I know most of those are done now, but you're not going to have massive investment and massive user adoption when Gary Gensler's suing everyone and their mom every other week.
Yeah, there's a bit of a technology barrier still, but it is diminishing. I mean, I remember in 2016 when I got into cryptocurrency, uh, it was way more difficult back then than it is today.
Oh
Like
yeah,
you going on
sure.
YouTube, even trying to find a tutorial for a wallet or how to use it, like they didn't exist. But now you go on YouTube and you've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, sometimes thousands of tutorials for everything. So we do see and all the applications that you can now get on your phone and have even easier access. Like you don't even have to have a laptop now. So we do see that barrier to entry diminishing, but I think it's just going to be a slow, gradual process.
Yeah, dude, you're absolutely right, because that's the very reason why we set up iCoin Pro, because there
Mhm.
wasn't anything around at the time.
Yep.
So there's two trains of thought for me when it was looking at crypto projects, things that I was willing to take a punt on. I don't really want to use the word invest because I mean, like we just a bunch of crypto bros. Um, so like I don't care what anybody says, but I think every single one of us are chasing the dollar. Like we all want to make a little bit more money. So I wanted to have a look at what coins I thought had the best possible chance of making decent returns. VeChain came up on that list. On the downside, like the coins in circulation was, I mean, like 80 billion or something ridiculous. Okay. Um, so it wasn't one of those coins that like I had total faith in, but it was one that I was willing to put into, like I was willing to take a punt on because there was potential. When it came to looking at something like Solana, straight out of the gate, a lot of high profile people started speaking about it right away. Okay. And it wasn't from a speculative point of view. It was like, holy shit, these guys have got like a new idea of how to do things and possibly solve the problem that Ethereum has been facing for years, which was high transaction fees. Okay, I mean, this is not a new thing for Ethereum, and this whole movement away from proof of work to proof of stake was supposed to solve that, and did it? No, it didn't. But in any case, so immediately it came up on my radar. So there are certain things that I look at from the perspective of, can I make money with this? And there are others that I think, can this change what people do? Okay, and could it be a game changer? So I personally don't think that VeChain can be a massive game changer. All right, like, and I could be totally wrong, but I do think that something like Solana could be a total game changer, because I think that Solana has the potential to upset Ethereum. Now, I mean, I'm just talking from my own thoughts, and it might not align with other people's. Like, what do you think? Do you think there is something out there that could topple the likes of Ethereum?
I don't think so. Like I'm still pretty bullish on Ethereum long term. I just think there's too many projects already built on it. They're still in the top three for developers. I mean, if you look at CoinMarketCap and you go to the top 100, most of them are still on Ethereum, are built on Ethereum. I think it just got that first mover advantage with the smart contracts. And now we have the layer twos that are coming and making things more affordable.
And
So I still think, say that again.
everybody was doing their ICOs on Ethereum.
Right.
Everybody, 2017 was the year of the ICO.
Yep.
So yeah, you could be right there. But now it seems like Solana is the place to go if you want meme coins. So it's
Yeah,
a tough.
and so
It's just a bit.
I never like I mean obviously I have Solana, I use it, but I didn't really go hard in it just because I don't think it's true. It's not even that decentralized. Like it shuts down. It hasn't lately, but just a few months ago, I mean it was shutting down every other day. And then there was like a week or two I couldn't even use it. If you guys remember that, because the transactions, there were so many transactions they couldn't even keep up. So it was like unusable for like a week or two. So I mean, I think they're still going to be around, but I think really it is just like kind of a meme coin, you know, playground over there.
Wow, I say that there is a lot of meme coins on Solana, but Solana was smoking a lot of the blockchains when the NFT craze came around. I mean, Magic Eden is a top marketplace at the moment, and they started initially with just Solana products. So like, it's debatable. Some people either like it and some people might hate it. I think Solana is going to be around for a long time. I think Solana is maybe one day going to give Ethereum a really good run for their money, but not price wise. People also need to have a look at like the difference between market cap and the price of a coin, because there's people
Right.
out there that, like, hey bro, like, one day Ripple is going to be like $200. No, it won't. It won't ever be, because then that's all the money in the world. Like, people don't get that.
Right.
Um, but yeah, so I'm not saying that Solana is gonna explode in price to the point, to catch up with Ethereum, $3,500. I'm not saying that at all.
Right.
Possibly market cap. We don't know. I mean,
I
what's
mean,
it?
right now it's almost what, like 20% of Ethereum's market cap. I got it up here. Solana's, or wait, I'm
That's
looking at the
five
wrong
x,
one.
dude. That's a five
Yeah.
x. It's not that high. I mean, we're talking
No,
crypto.
right. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't I wouldn't bet against it. I could definitely see it happening for sure.
Yeah, you're right. 70 to 300 is about yeah, 4.5, 5x. Not that bad. Um,
I think if I had my, I guess, dark horses for layer one are Near and Sui
Ton,
because of
dude.
their,
You forget Ton. I think that Ton is going to blow people away. I think a lot of
yep,
people aren't even going to see it coming.
I
Why?
agree.
Telegram has billions of users. Um, you guys seen the hamster game?
Hamster combat.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it. Yeah.
So Hamster is going to be a type of meme coin, probably Ton's biggest related meme coin, and it came from a game. And there was a similar game, it was based on not coin, but not is Ton backwards. Like there's a lot of overlaps in that ecosystem, and they have the users.
Right.
They've got well over 1 billion users. What did I say? It was 1.3 billion users, I think, on Telegram. The last time I had a look. Telegram
I
users.
thought it was close to 10.
Well, they got 900 million monthly users.
And while you look that up, this reminds me of what Sean said of when do we get this adoption? And I think, like, yes, it will happen slowly, but I think there will be a catalyst that brings in massive amounts of the normies. And it's probably, I would agree with you there, Paul, that it probably will be something on Telegram because that's a really easy way to get into crypto. So I don't know if it's a game or some little quiz game or some video game that you can use on Telegram. And because people already have Telegram, they're able to get into crypto that way. But I think there will be something where just a huge bunch of people move in and then nothing will ever be the same because we'll get that mass adoption finally.
Yeah. So 1.5 billion users on Telegram. Hamster coin got to 100 million users in about 6 weeks. That is insane.
Yeah.
That is insane. I believe for a point they were the fastest growing YouTube channel. It's massive. And all of these came out of one ecosystem, and that's everything related to Ton. Because Ton at the moment is, I believe, sitting in the top 10.
Yeah, and they're still only, I really want to get into their DeFi. That's kind of my next kind of videos I'm going to make on my YouTube channel because they're at 13 in total market cap on DeFi Llama. So there's only 616 million of total value locked in the Ton blockchain. So there's tons of growth there.
There's room to grow. Yeah, so like I'm thinking don't frown at something like Ton. It's a sleeper, it's a dark horse. It could really take people by surprise. But hey, no financial advice. Yeah, I'm just speculating. Like I'm speculating to the point where, and I'll admit it, I own Ton. And I own Ton for one reason only, is because I'm a big Telegram user. And like all the chat rooms I'm in and everything. So they are actually quite clever because now if you want to advertise on Telegram, guess what you got to pay in? You got to pay in Ton.
Nice. That's smart. Oh, I like that.
Yeah. I could see something like that with Twitter, like Twitter X, if they all of a sudden integrated a crypto like that, and you could just go on there, buy it, and use it to advertise. I think that would be one of those similar catalysts. It would have to be one of the platforms that already has 1 billion users or more, all of a sudden making it super easy. That would be one of those catalysts. But there'll probably be multiple catalysts like that as time goes on.
So I used to be a massive Twitter, I won't say user. I was a massive Twitter reader. I like to read stuff. So I'll subscribe to people and read what they got to say and all the rest. I find myself using Twitter less, and I find myself using Telegram more. I think Telegram is, if you can ignore the bots, because yes, they do have a massive spam problem, but so does X. I don't know a single person that has a decent following on Twitter that if they post something, they are not going to get spam bots posting on there. And Elon was like, no, but we're going to be solving the spam problem. I mean, he's owned it for I don't know how long now, and he still hasn't sorted it out. Like, people are always going to beat the system. Telegram allows you to be able to create a channel where you can go and hang out with people and discuss something that you guys have in common, or it's common interest groups. And can you still get news and follow people? Absolutely, you can. So I get all my news. Like I follow Cointelegraph, CoinDesk, and a whole bunch of and Watcher Guru, and like all the big crypto publications are on there. Okay, so why do I need to go to a place and get confused and then also see stuff that I don't really want to. Where on Telegram, I just know which channel I can click on, quick and easy. Watch a guru. What's been happening in the last couple of hours? Oh, okay, this has been happening. That's pretty cool. It's so easy. So and it's also another reason that gives me belief that something like Ton is going to go places. If Elon fixes up a bunch of things, yes, Spaces is cool on Twitter. Not that I'm a big Spaces user. I'm not. But can you have little chat rooms on Twitter? You know, you can group conversations, but you can't have real time conversations like you can on, say, WhatsApp or Messenger or or Telegram. So I find X is a little bit lacking. Although it is the place to get latest news. So, you know, it's a bit of a toss up. And they don't have a coin. But you're right. If Twitter did have to come out with a coin, and a coin that you had to use in order to do something on the platform, like if you had to pay for your Twitter subscription using Twitter coin or tweet coin or X coin, Elon coin, whatever you want to call it, it would probably do well because now your coin has utility, right? Not a security. It's not we're not telling people, hey, buy it because it's going to pump in price. No, not at all. You need to use it in order to access our services. It's a great idea. Do you ever see Elon doing something like that? And Sean, this is a question to you. You one that threw it out.
No, I've never seen it happen. I've only heard a bunch of rumors of it happening, and then so like a meme coin would pump because of it. But and even remember, Facebook was there was a bunch of rumors Facebook was going to do this like years and years ago, and then it never happened. I think some probably the bankers said no, we don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think there might even be like some kind of resistance happening by financial institutions and bankers that didn't want to see it happen back then, because again, this means the bankers lose their control, and the bankers and the hedge funds own all the stocks in these like Twitter and all that stuff, right? They control it. So it's just a very interesting dynamic where I feel like we're on the verge of having these catalysts, but there's also a lot of resistance by the current establishment.
I definitely think Elon wants to do it. I think he might be just figuring out the right way to do it, but I've heard him say he wants to make it so you don't ever have to leave X. That everything that you need will be on there. You'll be able to shop, you'll be able to do your banking, you'll get your news, you'll talk to your friends, you'll watch a video. Because they have, you know, like hangouts, I think they call them, where, you know, people can come and speak real time. That's what a lot of the crypto, you know, different developers do. You can now go live. I mean, you could always go live on it, but you know, with the censorship on YouTube, um, you know, I don't know why it really seems like X could be everything. Or
So did
or
you
like you said, Telegram, which because of the spam bots and you know a little more, you know, Telegram's just a lot more decentralized, but to be that front facing everything you need, social media, videos, being able to meet up with people all around the world, DM. I think X is the future. And I didn't use it for so long because of the communists that were running Twitter before Elon took it over. But now I'm actually using it a lot more every day and I like it.
communists? Okay.
That's what it is. Call it what it is.
Are you talking post
Technically, I guess
Jack
they're
Dorsey?
Marxist. They're Marxist. Okay.
Are you talking post Jack Dorsey?
Yeah, I'm talking any time before Elon.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, the censorship that was going on. I mean, you know, the White House was telling them exactly what to do, what to cancel,
Right.
take this person out.
Gotcha. Yeah. Although Elon seems to have a liking for Dogecoin or Dogecoin.
Right.
How do you say it, Mike? Because we spoken about this to a few different people. It
I
originally
always
came from
say,
the
I've always said Doge.
Doge. Okay. All right. So we can call
Doge.
it Doge. But he seems to like it because he's mentioned it a few times. He's made it pump, but then he's gone the laser eyes route, so you don't know if he's actually quite pro Bitcoin, and then like he he says negative things about Bitcoin, but then reveals that they're holding Bitcoin on their books. Like the dude's an enigma because he's very difficult to figure out.
Right.
And everyone might be speculating, he's going to do it with Bitcoin, is he going to do it with Dogecoin? And then all of a sudden he comes out with Elon X coin. We just don't know, dude. We just don't. I don't think anyone can figure him out. But yeah, it
No.
would be very interesting to see if he did, because it would make a lot of, I believe it would make a lot of business sense. Here's a coin, all right? You need it in order to unlock the features that we offer. You need it to pay for your subscription if you subscribe, if you're to the if you got a Twitter subscription, and so on. I think it's brilliant. So all thumbs, maybe he does. Maybe Twitter can be a place that I like again. Right now, it's like I just I it's
If X could get like a Web3 platform where a wallet connects to like your X account, that to me is a game changer. That's that like spark to bring the normies in that we need.
well, Jack Dorsey was trying to do that. Jack Dorsey wanted Lightning integration or Lightning, a Bitcoin Lightning wallet built into Twitter. It never happened. Probably because the board had something to say. Who knows? Um, and I don't really see him. I know it's very confusing. I don't really see him following the rules, because if you see what he's like a bit of a hippie, walks around without his shoes on. Like, you don't think that he's
Right.
someone that follows the rules. So it's a mystery as to why it was never done before he left Twitter. But it would have been quite awesome. Or maybe at the time, Lightning wasn't as refined as what it is today. But I mean, you got guys like Jack Mallers that are like, they super, super, hey, Bitcoin Lightning solves a lot of issues. It can do anything, can do everything.
So let me get your guys' opinion on this because um I keep hearing I love listening to Jack Malls, but when every time I try to use the Lightning Network, like I can't get it to work. Like I did something wrong when I tried to subscribe to Stripe, and now I can't. Like it says I'm already registered, but I'm not. So like other than Stripe, how do I use the Lightning Network?
Stripe or Strike?
I'm sorry, Strike.
Okay. Um, so I believe blink.sv is kind of not allowed for Americans either. So the strike.me app should be okay for Americans. I did this thing a couple of days ago with a group out of Africa where they would flash me their QR code, and then I would scan it. But they were using something called Wallet of Satoshi, which if you're an iPhone user, you can't download it in the US. So, but there are other options. There's the Aqua Wallet, Samson Mouse Aqua Wallet, but you cannot send a like one Satoshi. The Blink app you can, Strike you can, Wallet of Satoshi you can. There might be others. I've just never tried those. I've used the other three. But the Aqua Wallet, there's a minimum, and on top of it, there's a heavy fee to send Lightning, which it shouldn't be like that, guys. To be quite honest with you, because everyone else, every single app that all other apps that I've used, it's one less than one penny. It's actually a Satoshi. It's a minimum amount to be able to send a transaction over Bitcoin Lightning. So check out those if you can download them. Blink.sv. You can actually just go to the website. Um, you said you tried Strike. Try it again.
Yeah, I downloaded Strike, but when I registered, I like made a mistake, so it says like I exist, but I never set up a wallet. I can't figure out what to do.
Okay.
And did you say Blink is available in the US or it's not?
I'm not 100% sure, to be honest with
It
you.
does say on the front page it does say Apple App Store. So yeah, I'll try Blink. I'll try
Try
that out.
Blink.sv.
Yeah, it looks like it's in the App Store, so that's another option people can do.
Yeah. And like, dude, it's I think that once people start using Lightning, it's a total game changer. Do you know about btcmap.org?
I've heard of it, but I feel like I haven't looked at it in a little bit.
So btcmap.org shows you every merchant worldwide that accepts Bitcoin Lightning payments.
Oh, okay,
And
cool.
yeah, and if you go back to that page once a day, the number just keeps going up. Like more and more merchants are accepting Lightning payments because it's actually quite easy to set up a channel. All right, so you send Bitcoin on chain to over to the side chain. It's held in a channel, and then you can move Bitcoin back and forward. And using an app like I mean, there's quite a few that do instant point of sales. So Wallet of Satoshi. I'm going to show you guys this real quick because I think this is pretty cool. Where And I hope people out there watching this actually get some value from this because Wallet of Satoshi, for example, they've got this thing that, oh, see, it
Pull it
says
back.
there,
Pull it back just a bit. Yeah,
That's
now we
good
can
right
see it.
there.
Yeah, right there.
point of sale. See,
Okay.
it says point of sale in the middle there. So if I
Yeah.
click point of sale, and now I want to sell something to one of you guys. Okay, let's just say I've got an ebook that I want to send to one of you, and I want $25 for it, and you guys are going to be paying me in in Bitcoin Lightning, and I update it to say $25. Okay, I then create the invoice that tells me exactly how many satoshis it is. All right, and then one of you scan that. I'll get the payment instantly, and I'm a walking merchant with just my
Mm,
phone. I can walk around and accept because it does it on the fly. It works out exactly how many satoshis you need to send me in order for me to have $25. All right. This is a game changer for places like Africa, where it
right.
is. So I'll tell you guys like what's up there. A place like Africa, it's very difficult for them to get birth records, birth certificates, and so on. So for this is in some of the smaller, out of the way places, right? So for them, in order for them to open up a bank account, you got to jump through a lot of hoops, okay? And Africa's full of talented people. Like if you've seen African sculptures and art, like some really amazing stuff, and these people would be able to send the stuff to buyers in different countries, but before they couldn't. Why? Because of the issue of they're unbanked. They don't have bank accounts. Now now the
Yeah,
world is
that could be huge. I've actually been to Ghana before, and if we didn't have cash, they would actually have relatives or people they knew in America who would take Cash App. And then I don't know how they got it from them in America and Cash App to whatever they can get in Ghana, but that was like a huge thing with multiple people that I talked to that, because they can't get Cash App there and they don't really have any other ways to send or get money in and out of the system. I think really that PayPal was the only other option that anyone ever used. Other than that, they were like, oh, my cousin's in America, you can send him Cash App, I'll give you this, picture or whatever it is they were selling.
and now it's something like this, and on top of it, the payment clears instantly. There
Right.
isn't a 10-minute waiting time because Lightning it's an instantaneous payment. I mean, it can scale to 1 million transactions a second and cleared in 1 second. So yeah, absolute game changer. But listen, enough about Lightning and whatnot. We got about 10 minutes left, guys. Sean, do you have any other questions? I mean, Mike's an interesting dude. He's got some very interesting perspectives. Let's hit him with something hard, man.
Okay. Yeah, I've got some other questions. This was actually in regards to something you said earlier. It was about how a lot of these very influential people, big bankers, even politicians, how they used to be very anti-crypto, and now we see them completely doing a 180 on their opinion. Do you think that the reason we see a lot of them flip-flopping, do you think it's actually because they really have actually studied it and changed their opinions on it? Or do you think that they have handlers that are telling them to flip flop because they're creating narratives that will serve their favor in the next bull run?
So I think initially, Trump in his first term, when he kind of came out and made kind of a negative Bitcoin comment, I think really
2019. Did
it
you
was
remember what he
2019 that he
in
said that.
in 2019? I mean, everyone screenshotted the Twitter post. He bashed Bitcoin. He posted a very negative Twitter post about it.
Oh yeah. So I think he was doing that to just strengthen the dollar. Because
Hmm.
you got to remember, everything Trump does, I believe, is like five deep chess. And I told people at the time, I was like, you guys, you're blowing this way out of proportion. When the time is right, he will come around and fully support Bitcoin. And of course, I ended up being correct. So I think Trump transitioning to that is a real evolution of him learning about it more, probably through people like Elon Musk or the Winklevoss twins. Uh, Kamala's current shift, I think, is completely because the election's here. She's basically flip-flopped or shifted her position on everything she believes. She went from no fracking to now I like fracking. And you can do that with about six or seven different other topics. Not to mention, she was vice president where Gary Gensler is suing every other company every other week. So I think the Democrats are just doing this because it is an election season coming. They see Trump. I mean, most of the time cryptocurrency YouTube channels stay out of politics, but the last year or two, I mean, everyone's like, obviously we're not going to vote for Democrats. They want to destroy the system. They want to keep everyone controlled under their feet so we can't do anything different. So I think eventually we'll get there, but I still think we have a little bit of ways to go with, to where we can actually get some real regulation and start getting some momentum going forward.
So you know what? There is so many big names, bankers, other politicians, um, that have done a complete 180. Now, they've been saying it for years. Guys, you know what? Things are going to go crazy when the institutional money comes in. This is that bull run. And like I've mentioned this to a few people before, that this run up to $70,000 that we saw a few months ago had nothing to do with the halving, because historically, the bull run follows the halving 6 to 9 months later. Okay, that hasn't happened yet. This run up that we saw to $70,000 possibly had more to do with the ETF than what it did with the halving. Okay. Now, when you have a look at what happened with the ETF, all right, because people have been talking about an ETF for Bitcoin for years now. Now that it finally happened, look at now it's institutional money, because it used to start with crypto was just for the real crypto bros, the nerds in their mom's basements, and then it slowly, it started filtering through to business people now starting to take a look at it, and the average man in the street now starting to take a look at it, and all the rest. But there's still a huge amount of mom and pop investors that do not want to fiddle with wallets. Okay, they are not technical people. Okay, but they want a piece of this action. It's easy to pick up the phone your broker, and say, "Listen, buy me $10,000 worth of Bitcoin." They think they're getting Bitcoin. They think they're investing into Bitcoin. They don't really understand. They don't know stuff that like we know. Self custody is the way to go. Self custody if you want to remain sovereign. Um, but still, that now that the ETF opens the door for all these investors to come in. This is the point that we have been looking forward to for years, when people do make an about turn. So we should be welcoming it and not questioning it. Um, but yeah, like it's very confusing to see someone like Trump do a complete about turn. But we should have been expecting it. I think more and more politicians are going to be pro crypto. Okay, we've been hearing for a while about a lot of different politicians wanting to take their sports people and whatnots wanting to take their salaries in Bitcoin. Who's the Florida senator that wants his payment in Bitcoin? I'm not an American, so
I
I
haven't
don't know.
heard that. My guess would be like Thomas Massey, though.
No. Um,
It's a
uh,
U.S. Representative that wants to be paid in Bitcoin.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there was a bunch of posts about that got shared a couple years ago about people working for the government in Florida accepting their salaries in Bitcoin. They even put like a giant Bitcoin bull statue in Florida. Do you remember that? Everyone was sharing it.
Was it Matt Gates?
No,
Okay.
another one.
I have not heard that. Tom Emmer?
Might have been a
Crypto
mayor,
King of
not
Condos?
necessarily a senator.
Oh, okay.
No, it wasn't Eric Adams.
Um, yeah, and the other thing I thought of is just, you know, Trump has got to get legislation done on this, or whoever wins. I mean, I don't see legislation if a Democrat wins, but it's ridiculous that this thing has been around for 12 years and they can't pass any legislation on it. I mean, it's
Gonna
just
happen, Mike.
insane.
I genuinely believe that especially now with this presidential race that's coming up, okay? Because there's a lot of people that do not want to be left with egg on their face. Obviously, the Harris side of things, they know that they need to fix their relationship with the crypto community, because right now it's a shambles. Okay, so they're going to be scrambling to fix what's right. The other side is going to be doing exactly the same thing to try and get people back to, continue possibly voting for Trump. All right. And we could see more bipartisan participation in and agreements on a lot of things, especially when it comes to crypto. Okay. So, does it answer the age-old question that Bitcoin is the savior of humanity? I mean, fuck yeah. Like I would love to see a lot more agreement and legislation that's gonna allow for more stuff to happen, especially around Bitcoin. Like it's happening, guys. It's really, really is
Yeah,
happening.
and
In
even
history,
even if you even if you don't like him or you don't believe him, Trump even suggesting that he wants the United States to have a strategic reserve of Bitcoin is huge.
yeah.
I mean, that could be massive because I mean, yeah, you have these tiny countries like El Salvador and a few other ones, but like if a major country says we need to keep a strategic reserve of Bitcoin just in case, it's game over. I
Okay,
mean,
then what's the next step? The next step is that other countries are going to slowly start adopting the same strategy. And they're like, well, every single one of us, look, we're a bunch of bros now. We're all crypto bros. We're all using this crypto thing and we're holding like a bunch of Bitcoin. So why don't we pass around this idea that we make it the global reserve currency, because the dollar's busy losing value, right? Boom. There's your $1 million Bitcoin. It's
yep.
something that I've been talking about for years. This is a process of things that needs to happen in order for Bitcoin to eventually become a global reserve currency. When I started talking about this idea to people back in 2017, people looked at me like I was absolutely nuts. There is no way that Bitcoin can become a global reserve currency. I mean, come on, like that's ridiculous. Now El Salvador's adopted it as legal tender in their country, and now American senators are talking about possibly looking to introduce a reserve for it. The next step, it's just the next plausible step is, okay, everyone's using this Bitcoin thing. Why don't we make it the global reserve currency? There's enough Satoshis to go around to keep everybody happy. But anyway, I think we need to leave that discussion for another time. Guys, my time is up. Mike, it was so awesome having you on. It was a very, very good discussion. Absolutely loved it. Would you be keen to jump on again? Like we got to do part two, man.
Oh yeah, I mean, this was just surface level stuff. I mean, I'm ready to get really nerdy. We didn't even get into DeFi. We didn't get
I
into
know.
yield farming. So
Oh
yeah, I
yeah.
would love to come back. Great to meet you, Paul, and Sean.
Yeah,
Appreciate you,
you got,
brother.
you know
Thanks for
what?
having me on,
We
guys.
could definitely do that. I'm a big pancake swap fan. Big on the BNB chain. Yeah, like I love DeFi, I love farming, yield farming. Like there's a lot of stuff that we can talk about. Sean, thank you for setting this up. Mike, it was absolute pleasure meeting you. So yeah, we'll definitely do this again.
Sounds
Absolutely.
good.
Thanks again, Mike.